Hey guys, just sitting out here waiting for my Uber to arrive. I'm actually about to take an Uber to a yarn store near the convention that we're attending. We're in Anaheim, California, and I got some info that there's a store nearby that sells the fibery stuff. I'm gonna go check it out and probably record while I'm in there so I can share that experience with you. As I've been enjoying all of the sessions at this convention called VidCon, I've been thinking about content and this podcast and the things that I share with you. And I thought it would be a good question for this episode for us to discuss what sort of content you like in your fiber and yarny podcasts. So share with me, when you look for a podcast or find one, what do you most love about that podcast, or what are you looking for when searching for a great podcast to really get into? I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts on that. Feel free to shout out podcasters that you love so we can share in that as well. It's a beautiful thing about this community, how we all connect with each other. And it's something that I love, which is getting recommendations from others about things I should be looking at. And of course, I want to hear from you about what you want in this podcast, what you want to hear from the Brownberry Chronicles. Hopefully you've been enjoying all the episodes so far, but I'm having so much fun doing it that I want to keep creating content that is relatable for you. So I will let you know how it goes in my yarn store visit, see if I can pick up any souvenirs. Hey everybody, this is Ursula from Ursula's Yarn Boutique. Oh, you look wonderful. I love the top you're wearing. Did you make that?
Sure.
Entrelac? Gorgeous. What's the yarn?
It's a cotton.
It's beautiful colors. So Ursula just told me that she's been here for 32 years. That's incredible. We're in Santa Ana, California, and I love visiting local yarn stores and checking out where the knitters and crocheters hang out. Super. So it's a beautiful shop you have. There's so many samples in here. Did you make all of these?
I have help.
Oh my goodness.
I would not be able to do shop if I sit all day and knit, but I do have help.
That's true.
Some very crafty people. So.
Yeah. What's the community like here? You have a lot of folks showing up for knit nights and things like that?
I don't do nights.
Okay.
Because the center is empty.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't need to
be here on your own.
No.
I hear you.
I don't feel comfortable with that.
Sure.
So I just try, and I'm here 4.5 days a week.
Oh, nice. That's not a bad schedule.
No. I'm getting old. So.
Oh, no. What made you decide to start the yarn boutique?
Love for yarn.
Yeah. Have you knit a long time yourself?
Yes, I was 6 years old.
When you started?
Uh-huh.
Who taught you?
My grandmother.
Really? I love hearing stories like that.
And now, of course, I teach my grandchildren.
Perfect. So. Did you take to it right away?
I have one who is really, really good.
One of your grandchildren has taken to it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And she is 10 years old.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And the other one is 14, but she has no interest in it.
No. When you were young and you learned at 6, did you take to it right away?
We had no toys.
Oh, so you knit back then for...
Just to keep your kids or grandkids occupied.
Got it.
You know, I was born right after the war.
Yeah.
And we lost everything, so there was no toys, there was nothing to entertain kids, so we unraveled old sweaters and made new ones out of it.
That's so fascinating.
Yeah.
Did you find that you did start to enjoy it after a time, though?
Yeah, because I was just thrilled to be able to do something.
Right.
You know.
So you started to love it.
So I loved it. I've did it ever since.
That's fantastic. I love that story. And I love that you're passing it on. I have 2 daughters, teenagers, and they both knit.
Yes. One,
I think, likes it more than the other.
Yeah, you know, you
but
can't
they
force
both do
people to do it.
No.
It has to be something that they enjoy, and not everybody enjoys it. So
I hear you. Do you teach?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What sorts of classes do you teach?
I don't teach group classes. I just teach individual because I have to run my shop outside. I teach.
Sure.
So I don't charge for my lessons.
Is that so?
You have to buy your yarn here, of course. You can't go to Michael's and then take my free lessons.
I think that's pretty fair. I think that's pretty reasonable.
But you buy my yarn, you get a free lesson. If you want to learn how to knit, I teach you how to knit.
So you've taught a lot of people.
Yes, I have.
Oh, that is so wonderful. I love that ripple effect, putting more of that out
into
there.
The community, yeah.
Definitely. And so your shop, I'm going to definitely promote you online, and all of my Brownberry Chronicles podcast viewers will know where to come if they're in Santa Ana. Do you you have a Facebook page? And
No, I don't.
Okay. Are you on Ravelry by any chance?
No, not either, because I just don't have the time
to keep up with it.
My computer just exploded.
Oh no!
And so
I guess that'll make.
I have an iPad. I have an iPhone, but
sure.
You know, when I come home, I have a family.
Sure.
Then I don't want to do much as far as
all that social media stuff does take a lot of upkeep.
It's not my age. You know? You struggle with those kind of things.
Well, I'll encourage folks to come meet you in person because I'm already having a great time, and I've just been here a few minutes.
Where are you from?
I am Mars from BrownBerry Chronicles, and I live in Florida.
And what do you do over here?
I'm actually here for the VidCon conference, which is the YouTube convention over in Anaheim.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just, when I'm in a different place, I'm not home, I look up local yarn stores, and I always meet the best people like you.
Oh, well, that's very nice.
Yeah, it's a fun way to get souvenirs for a trip, too.
Yeah.
Here's another Neuro yarn.
Mirai.
Beautiful.
Mirai. Mirai.
This color is gorgeous.
Yes, we're just making a sweater out of this one for the shop.
Beautiful. How do you choose the colorways and things that you want to?
I don't know. I just try to do my best.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm successful. Sometimes I'm not.
Sometimes it flies off the shelf. Sometimes not so much.
You don't know.
Well, there are some good choices in here, I think.
Oh yeah, they're all, and we're just starting out with those.
Sure.
And we'll see how it goes. So.
For the different tastes, I think this is a good.
Oh yeah, they're all different colors.
I'll make sure you guys can see this. It's Mirai. You're right. These names are interesting too, but
yeah,
I love that it's kept to the typical Noro kind of colorway and look. And you have some other great options in maybe the more well-known Noro yarns, right?
Yes, we have the Tayo is a very, very nice yarn, which is up there. Has
this
a lot
one
of
here.
cottons, and that's a Tayo.
That's beautiful. Oh, pardon me. Disrupting your display. So bright.
Maybe take a picture of it like this.
Yes.
So you can actually see the colors that are in it. I like this yarn. This is my favorite Noro yarn.
And that one is?
That is a Tayo.
She was telling me when I came in that she doesn't do all of these samples herself. She's got some help, but there are a lot of beautiful pieces in here. Typically, what do you knit up as samples, Ursula? What do you find is the best thing to kind of have on display?
Whenever I buy yarn, I always have a sample. It's not always a sweater. It's a scarf, a hat, a cowl neck. Look at the hand warmers up there.
Oh, yes.
You see all those up there from leftover balls of yarn.
Oh, how cute.
2 balls of yarn, we make them into hand warmers.
Uh-huh.
And they sell extremely well because everybody loves them.
What an excellent way to use up.
1 ball, 2 balls. So,
right.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yes, you have to do that, otherwise you have a lot of things that are wasted.
Right.
Or, you know,
after you make a larger garment.
Out of the pattern. I cannot sell photocopies, but I can give them to people who buy the yarn.
Yeah. Do you notice any trends in what people are making in terms of patterns?
Cowls.
Yes.
That's the big thing.
I've noticed that too. I'm on Ravelry, and there are so many shawl designers now. Yes. And you'd think that it would be saturated, but everyone's coming up with...
I have to show you this one.
Yeah, a little different way to make things.
It's called a crescent.
Aha. I'm going to stand back so I can see the whole thing.
I was going to put that around your shoulder.
Oh, sure. It's so cute. Yeah, I don't mind. I'll model it. So Ursula's showing me her next crescent shawl. I just modeled this one, which I love. I love the colors. It sits really beautifully on. I'll see if I can get the pattern information.
Yeah, I'll give you a pattern.
That would be fantastic. I like this one that you're making because the colors are very attractive. So it's garter stitch and ribbing on the end.
Yes.
Makes a very beautiful rounded shape. Is it short rows or how?
No.
Oh.
It just increases at the end of and the beginning of the row.
So it doesn't sound too technical at all.
It's very easy.
We should try this. This would be a nice one. Ursula's knitters have made 20. No, Ursula and I are talking yarns and patterns, and I'm exploring. The colors in here are incredible. Very cozy shop. Lots of yarn choices. Great samples for you to be able to check out. Yarn weights and types. There are books, some notions. I think I'll definitely get a souvenir in here to take home to Florida. I just found
travel project.
Yeah, I think I just found my next travel project. This wrap is beautiful. All the different colors.
That's Noro again.
That Noro yarn does so much for you. I even love the beautiful tassels on the end. Simple stitch pattern, I could travel with that easily. What are some of your favorite shows to go to?
I just go to the TNNA.
TNNA.
San Diego.
Right. And that just happened recently, didn't it?
Well, the summer one is somewhere, I don't know.
In a different city, yes.
That's too far for me to go. Then I have to close my shop and everything.
Right.
And I don't want to do that since I'm a one-person operator.
Sure. And TNNA that happens here close
San
by?
Diego or Phoenix or LA.
When is that usually?
They usually have the one in January.
Okay. So coming up next season. That's pretty smart, actually. I bet a lot of people get yarn then.
You can't go there. You have to have a
You have to be, right. It's for business
business
owners. I do know that. I have some friends who are shop owners, designers who sometimes go with a shop owner as part of the booth. It looks like a great show.
It is a very nice show, and since I've been there 32 times.
Yes. Oh, you've been every year since you opened?
Year.
That's amazing.
Must,
so well, you know some people now, I'm sure.
I know a lot of people that own the company.
Sure.
That makes, of course, a big difference.
Yeah. Who are some of your favorite sort of current providers, yarn providers?
I buy a lot from companies called Cassell.
Yes. I'm familiar.
Very nice people. I love Laura and Brian from Prison.
Okay.
They do beautiful yarns. I have just recently bought some yarns from Trendsetter.
Oh, yep. Very familiar.
My first yarn company I ever bought from, and I have never stopped since, was Barocco.
I'm a huge fan.
The gentleman who owns Barocco is a very nice man.
That's good to know.
He takes care of his yarn shops, and whatever questions you have, he will help you with it.
That's fantastic.
And let's see what
I love their pattern support. Yarns. I think Barocco has such a wide range of yarns.
Mm-hmm. Yes. They are not, I don't want to say they are the high end.
Right.
They are average price, which is great for
I
shop.
agree.
You have to carry some yarns that are, but the quality is outstanding.
I agree with you.
And the support is super.
That's good to know. And I like supporting someone knowing that you know the owner.
All
and
my companies I work with are perfect supporters. So
that's fantastic. I think I'm going to have to...
Don't go by fly-by-night people.
Right, right.
I want the real ones. So.
I love that you get to know them enough that you can vouch for the owner and the yarn.
KFI is a huge company. They have a lot of companies under their umbrella. The Katja, for instance.
Yeah.
And they have so many different yarns, it's almost impossible to carry them all. But the pattern books are outstanding. These ones here.
Oh, yes, I've seen these.
Those are lovely books.
Beautiful.
And the instructions are English and Spanish.
Right.
So that helps a lot of my Hispanic customers.
That is something to consider. Yes, do you have a good mix of customers that might require some multi-language?
Not maybe 10%.
Okay.
That's about it.
And I'm sure they appreciate having patterns written in their language that they don't have to decipher. I have to try to do that sometimes with patterns. There are patterns where I'm just following a chart because maybe the written instructions are in Japanese or something else. No. So if you can't do it by the chart, then you're in trouble. That's great to know, though. I'm a former part-time local yarn store employee, so I got to see a little bit of that relationship between owner and supplier. So I'm glad you have positive ones. That's excellent. That I'm purchasing here. Ursula's just introducing me to this. Knit 1, Crochet 2. Loving this yarn. It's a wool silk blend, and I'm getting the solid colors. This is Batiste, and then the other one I have the multi. Let's see. Yep. I think these are going to go great together. So Ursula and I are talking about knitting needles, and she's just shown me the marble needles. So they do the sizing by color, so you don't have to use a needle gauge. Very cool.
They come in straight, they come in double point, and
Yeah.
they come in circular.
So if there are any marble knitting needle fans out there, let me know. Ursula says she likes knitting on the bamboo needles as well. I'm a Knit Picks needle knitter for the most part.
I don't knit on metal needles.
She doesn't use metal at all. I have a friend like that. My friend Shelley prefers the wood.
I've had hand problems all my life from all this knitting. And
right.
The doctor says metal is a conductor.
Oh.
And it aggravates your tendons and your nerves.
Very interesting.
And lay off if you can.
That's good advice. I'm a fan of both, but I've recently found that I'm knitting more with my wooden needle tips and things like the carbons. I used to knit exclusively with metal, so that's good to know as I continue.
Yeah, you may as well give your hands a rest. Remember,
I agree.
Cast on 38 stitches on a size 8 needle.
Yeah.
And when you start out, you increase on one side and decrease on the other.
Got it.
And purl back.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
That's pretty simple.
Can't get any simpler.
I'm excited, guys. I'm getting to try my first merino cashmere nylon. This is a prism yarn that Ursula has recommended. I've gotten a little collection here, symphony layers in the colors plumberry. And I've got complementary yarn in lichen. My first time trying a merino cashmere nylon blend, and it feels so soft already in the skein. I can't wait to use it.
We exchange patterns and things like that, so.
I love our community.
It's so nice, yes. Into the summer, which is not the best part for a yarn shop.
Oh, I know. Living in Florida, people think I'm crazy for knitting in the summertime, but I keep going. I highly, highly recommend Ursula's Yarn Boutique in Santa Ana. I hope you guys get an opportunity to visit. Any of my friends that are in California, it's worth the trip. Ursula has been so kind to me. I hope you'll come and see her, visit her shop, and check out some of these gorgeous yarns that she has to offer.